kids. Delaware's First Lady, Tracey Carney, has authored a story to get our young ones excited about reading. And dollars, drugs, decisions. We'll have more on the latest developments in the race to the White House.
And more clarity in our climate coming soon, with clear skies prevail in our area in our initial forecast info.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Funeral arrangements made and flags lowered as Sussex County's first responders grieve the loss of one of their own. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 11. We begin tonight with more tributes for volunteer firefighter Thomas Berry III. Berry lost his life while helping others. Governor Carney has ordered Delaware flags to be lowered to half-staff at all state facilities to honor the Sussex County EMS employee and volunteer firefighter. Flags should be lowered until sunset on Thursday, August 22nd. And new this evening, arrangements for Thomas Berry III will be held on that date, Thursday, August 22nd. From our coast copter, you can see the utility pole the police say snapped while Berry was helping the driver bringing down electrical wires and resulting in his death. Police say the car tried to pass another and ran off the road, then hitting that pole. The agencies Berry worked for are devastated by the tragedy. They say Berry was a fourth-generation firefighter with family on his mother and father's side in the Ellendale Volunteer Fire Department. Coast TV's Mallory Metzner spoke to Berry's colleagues today, who recall his selflessness and his infectious smile.
It's been very tough for the community of first responders here in Sussex County these last 48 hours. How are you guys doing?
I can say that the Ellendale Volunteer Fire Company is beyond heartbroken. Thomas Berry was a valued team member within our organization, and right now we're just taking it day by day, to try to navigate this tragic loss. Thomas died doing what he loved to do.
And how will he be remembered? Do you guys already have a plan for that?
We're working on that, but I can tell you on behalf of the Ellendale Fire Company, we're super proud of him, and he's definitely our hero.
Perry says one word to describe Thomas Berry is altruistic. There will be a scheduled visitation on August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. next Thursday, with services to follow. New at 11, a teenager in Millsboro has been arrested after a shooting. Here's what we know so far. A 15-year-old has been arrested on felony gun charges after a shooting. It was on Blue Dolphin Lane. According to Delaware State Police, this all happened August 13th. When police got to the scene, they determined that the teen had fired a gun during an argument with another kid. No one was injured, but the suspect now faces multiple felony charges, including reckless endangering and aggravated menacing. He's being held at Stevenson House Detention Center on a $100,000 bond. Police continuing their investigation and asking anybody with information to come forward. On the coast, the Bethany Beach Town Council will hold a public meeting tomorrow, August 16th at 2 p.m. in the town meeting room. A lot on that agenda, including the purchase of a new trolley, a contract for pedestrian safety upgrades at Coastal Highway and Garfield Parkway. They're also considering canceling next month's meeting. You can attend in person or watch live on the town's website or YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside right now into the Lewis area. And we need to check in with our meteorologist, chief meteorologist, Paul Williams.
Well, right now we check in with the forecast, and it's shaping up to be really calm for us and really comfortable when you consider the fact that the relative humidity count is continuing to stay on the low side, making the sunshine a little more easy to tolerate and digest, so to speak. We'll drop to 69 degrees by 1 o'clock with mostly clear skies. High pressure and full control of our weather, but there's a pesky, gigantic hurricane out in the Atlantic that's now causing some problems along our coast. We do have a rip current statement that's active, so we're watching out for the possibility of rip currents really for those beaches that are along the Sussex County coast, Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, down towards Fenwick Island and all that. But we also have the small craft advisory that's active, and this means we're watching out for 25-mile-per-hour wind gust. And that's going to last until about Sunday, 6 o'clock in the evening. Now, we'll have more on your full forecast coming up in a moment. Until then, Back to you, Charlie.
Thank you very much, Paul. The debate over offshore wind development is still stirring up mixed emotions. International energy company Equinor has secured a lease for more than 100,000 acres, and it's about 26 miles off the Delaware Bay. The company bid more than $75 million for the lease. An Equinor spokesperson tells us wind turbines in the Delaware Bay could power up to 900,000 homes, but locals and some elected officials still strongly oppose the offshore wind project, citing concerns about appearance and wildlife.
This is, to me, in my opinion, is a resort beach, and I wouldn't like going to the beach, seeing things out there like that. It's like natural.
I think we should look at all different sources and continue to work them all, implement as much of them as we can, clean up some of the fossil fuels so that they're not nearly as dangerous to the environment.
Another energy company, Virginia Electric and Power Co., also won a lease yesterday. It bid about $17.5 million to secure an area about 35 miles from the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. Selbyville Library had a sit and read with first spouse Tracey Quillen Carney about her new children's book, Books for Blue, which encourages children of all backgrounds to step outside their comfort zones and to discover their passions through reading. Great message there. The Selbyville Public Library also received $7 million by the American Rescue Plan Act to fund a new library, which will be 9,000 square feet larger than the one that they currently use. Carney hopes these efforts will bring more kids to the library.
We know that if we want to hit that critical third grade reading benchmark, we've got to start working with kids on their brain development and pre-reading skills long before kindergarten. We can't start in kindergarten and get to that third grade benchmark.
The new Selbyville Library set to be open and ready for the public this November. A day after new numbers show inflation loosening its grip on the economy, President Biden and Vice President Harris touting the administration's efforts to lower drug prices for seniors. Meanwhile, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump holds back-to-back events for the first time in 2 weeks. NBC's Chris Pollone has the latest developments in the race for the White House.
President Biden and Vice President Harris in Maryland announcing a landmark agreement to lower prices for seniors on 10 popular prescription drugs.
But this time, we finally beat Big Pharma. It saves the taxpayers billions of dollars.
It's the first time the pair has shared a public stage since the president gave up his re-election bid.
There's a lot of love in this room for our president.
And comes as the administration celebrates inflation being at its lowest level since the pandemic. Democrats are riding a wave of momentum in the polls with the vice president at the top of the ticket. Former President Donald Trump trying to reclaim the spotlight, holding back-to-back events for the first time in 2 weeks.
We're a failing nation because of the way it's been run for the last 3.5 years.
Attacking both Biden and Harris's handling of the economy.
A radical left person wants to put price controls all over the place, which will end up driving up your prices, not down your prices.
As the two sides spar over who will handle the economy better, aides say Vice President Harris will call for a federal ban on corporate price gouging on groceries when she lays out her economic agenda Friday. Chris Pollone, NBC News, Washington.
New at 11 with, well, a lot of people have been paying attention to the campaigns of both Vice President Harris and former President Trump, as we just covered there. Today, affordability was a key issue on the trail, and former Maryland governor, current Senate candidate Larry Hogan, thinks that that's one of the things that matters most to the American people.
I'm glad that they're talking about these issues. I'm anxious to hear what they have to say. And look, whoever's elected in November, I look forward to working with them or working across the aisle. These are very important issues. As I'm out on the campaign trail, it's all I hear about is the cost of everything is too much, inflation is out of control, and people can't afford to pay their bills. So I think focusing on the issues is really important, and both campaigns ought to be doing that.
What can you do with your basement? In Rehoboth Beach, that's an ongoing question. Tomorrow, the city is hosting a public hearing that will focus on changes to basement regulations in the coastal community. The Board of Commissioners will look at amendments that would govern habitable and non-habitable space. Some of the regulations include ceiling height minimums of 7 feet or more, what are considered habitable spaces. And for those non-habitable spaces, there would also be some restrictions. And this is important. They would grandfather in existing homes in certain cases as what's called legal non-conforming. That meeting is at 2 p.m. at City Hall. A crash in Blades, sending 3 people to the hospital. These photos from the Blades Volunteer Fire Company show the accident. You can see 2 SUVs off the road with damage to its sides. First responders say one car needed a door pop. The extent of the patient's injuries and cause of the crash has not yet been revealed. New statewide student assessment results highlight the ongoing need for educational recovery from pandemic-related school closures. In grades 3 through 8, 40% of students achieved proficiency in English language arts. High schoolers showed mixed results with a slight uptick in SAT reading scores. There were significant gains in Seaford, where students with disabilities outperformed statewide averages. We're just getting started tonight. Sales suddenly surging. Retail business is seeing a boom, but why now? And story time, a special guest at the Selbyville Library inspires kids to pick up a book and prioritize reading.
Well, we're going to be prioritizing sunshine for Friday and Saturday as far as our Bay forecast is concerned, but we will see some scattered showers on Sunday with a high of 84 degrees in Cambridge. We'll get up to 82 degrees with chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, early evening hours. In Crisfield, your full forecast coming up in 60 seconds.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current Chevy owners get $6,500 total value on this Silverado 1500 Custom when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 12% below MSRP. See your Delmarva Chevy dealers.
When Roe v. Wade fell, we all got mad. Matt Meyer got to work, securing county funds for the first state abortion fund so women can get reproductive care here in Delaware. Matt went to work protecting kids from gun violence too, reducing shootings almost 50%. As Matt's wife, I'm incredibly proud. As an emergency room doctor, I see the difference he's making. Matt will be a great governor because he doesn't just talk, he's walking the walk.
Overall, I want to give you the basic theme of the forecast is that we're going to enjoy a little more sunshine and calm and cooler weather, relatively speaking. But the outer lying aspects of the forecast basically deals with the residual effects of Ernesto as he's churning out in the Atlantic. I'm going to show you what I'm referring to in just a moment here, but we're at 66 by the time we get to 1 o'clock with partly cloudy skies, but we're going to stay mainly clear most areas. Now, we do have what's called a rip current statement, which is basically we're watching out for the possibility of rip currents causing problems. That's going to be over Saturday, Sunday, and going into till you get to Monday midnight, just at the beginning of Monday from Sunday night. And that's for the entire coastline along Sussex County. So we're watching out for rip currents, so watch out for that. Remember, you swim parallel to that. If you get caught into it, preferably just don't get caught in it at all. In addition to that, we have a small craft advisory. Now that's active along the coast from, let's say, Lewis all the way down towards Chincoteague. Now that stays in effect until Sunday as well, and that's where we're watching out for 25 mile per hour winds. So that's where we have a small craft advisory. Aside from those two wrinkles and what's happening, we have high pressure that's dominating our weather to our west, and that's going to be the basic pattern establisher for the rest of the night and really for Friday. 71 right now in Georgetown and in Lewis. We're at 69 in Milton, 72 in Millsboro, 66 Delmar, and 70 degrees in Seaford. It's almost a little bit on the cool side, to be quite honest. And we have the winds coming out of the south. Now, because we're going to have the flow coming out of the south for a pretty steady basis, we're looking for more in the way of moisture and a little bit of heat to continue to kind of stack up ever so subtly, okay? But you know it up front, so the subtlety won't go beyond your recognition to some degree. We're looking for temperatures in the 70s at 1 o'clock on Friday for Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, but in the mid-80s for places like Millsboro as well as Georgetown with clear skies. Clouds will thicken for us by Friday night. Winds still out of the south, but it's Saturday morning up to about maybe noon. We may see renegade widespread sprinkles or two. 76, 75, 75 in Milton, Milford, and Broadkill Beach. and then we could see a few additional sprinkles. But now where we will have the rain, that'll be very brief and relatively light, okay? Then let's talk about Ernesto, because that's what's giving us that residual effect. Sustained winds at 100 miles per hour. Is moving to the north-northeast at 14 miles per hour, and it's expected to track over, really Bermuda for the most part as a Category 1, then downgrade to a Category 2, then to a 1. But as far as how it's going to affect us, Friday, not so much, minor effects, but as we go Saturday into Sunday, see that yellow right there? That's indicating that Rehoboth Beach, our model is indicating that we're going to have some problems with that. And then the winds will pick up for us Saturday going into Sunday night with a darker blue. And so that's what we're watching out for. And that's also where we're expecting for the waves to become a little more aggressive for us in our neck of the woods. All that being said, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling extended forecast. Stormy on Sunday and Monday.
Thank you, Paul. Now, we got into this a little bit earlier in the newscast, but we're going to go deeper here. Selbyville Library had a sit-in read with first spouse Tracey Quillen Carney about her new children's book. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappé shows us what message she's trying to send to the kids around Delaware.
Sit down and enjoy story time with Blue.
Folks, Blue thinks the choices don't end.
First spouse Tracey Quillen Carney came to the current Selbyville Library to help encourage early education and reading. She brought copies of her new children's book, Books for Blue, something she says is on the top of her list.
We know that if we want to hit that critical third grade reading benchmark, we've got to start working with kids on their brain development and pre-reading skills long before kindergarten. We can't start in kindergarten and get to that third grade benchmark.
To help increase kids to start reading at an early age, the Selbyville Public Library received $7 million by the American Rescue Plan Act to fund the new library. The new library is 9,000 square feet larger than the one they currently use, and will have different sections and rooms for all ages. Anna Caius, who has worked in the library for over 7 years, can't wait for the new building.
And I'm very excited because we have a lot of patrons that come in here and a lot of events. So just having a bigger space is going to allow us to provide even more services for our patrons.
In addition to a new building comes First Lady Tracey Quillen Carney's Books for Blue, which encourages children to step outside their comfort zones and to discover their passions through reading. Books for Blue has English and Spanish text inside, to allow people of all backgrounds to enjoy Blue's journey, and to hopefully encourage them to start their own path in the near future.
Kids are inspiring. They are literally embody hope, which I think is a basic need for all of us. So there's nothing better. There's nothing better.
The new Selbyville Library is set to be open and ready for the public this November. I'm Kevin Zappé in Selbyville, Coast TV News.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's your top priority when preparing for the new school year? Let's take a look at the results so far. And here's what we've got in our poll. This has changed some from earlier this evening, but setting new routines. That's the number one spot here, getting 46% of the vote. Everything else kind of splitting up second, third, fourth, and fifth. If you want to go vote, if you want to be a part of this conversation, you can do that. Just go to coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. Jobless numbers drop, some good economic news, what experts say this means moving forward. And picture this, an AI image generator. We're going to tell you more about Elon Musk's latest technology after the break.
The bold, creamy smoothness of Hardee's new cold brew coffee with the made-from-scratch goodness of Hardee's famous breakfast. A delicious new way to power your morning. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Sign and Drive is here. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Encore GX Preferred for around $343 per month with zero due at signing.
I'm Mark Stevens from Hartley, Delaware, and I utilize the USDA's Wetland Reserve Easement Program to improve wildlife habitat for deer, waterfowl, and other wildlife while improving water quality. If you have at least 10 acres of woods or wet, unproductive cropland, you may be eligible for compensation to restore and protect the wetlands on your property. To learn more about the Wetland Reserve Easement Program, contact your local USDA Service Center.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division like myself in cabinetry to ensure that you have the best product to fit your needs. And your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your project.
It was very important to find somebody that was knowledgeable in the whole picture, the cabinetry, the appliances, and the countertop. We are delighted with the outcome.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
The greatest meal deal for your buck? Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with your choice of 2 full-size favorites, plus fries and a drink. All for just $6.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Delmarva's Classic Rock, Big 107.7.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Special hunting permits for Delaware state parks are now available. The permits, which were previously sold only at state park offices, can now be bought online at Digital DenRec. At DenRec's main campus in Dover, at more than 40 licensing agencies across the state, the permits are priced at $10 for both residents and non-residents. It's the latest step in artificial intelligence, and depending about how you feel, that could be good, bad, scary, or just predictable. Elon Musk's AI chatbot, Grok, is now letting users create AI-generated images from text prompts and posting them to Twitter. People started using the tool to flood social media sites with fake images of political figures like former President Trump, Vice President Harris, and even Musk himself. Grok was created by Musk's artificial intelligence startup xAI, and unlike other mainstream AI photo tools, Grok appears to have very few guardrails. In economic news, jobless claims fell last week for the second week in a row. According to the Labor Department, there were an estimated 227,000 new claims for unemployment insurance. That's 7,000 less than the previous week. Weekly jobless claims are a key indicator of layoff activity in the labor market. Despite trending higher in recent months, they remain below historical averages. In the decade before the COVID pandemic, weekly jobless claims had averaged about 311,000. And how about this? Retail sales suddenly booming across the United States. Thursday, the Department of Commerce said sales at U.S. retailers surged unexpectedly in July. They rose by a solid 1% from the month before. The country's economic growth hinges on Americans spending their money. It is the economy's latest show of strength in the face of several economic hurdles squeezing consumers. Have you had a rough week? Well, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/signup. Coming up in sports, the Shorebirds hoping to end the Mudcats' 8-game win streak against them. And returning to the stage, Taylor Swift back to the business of electrifying crowds after a terror plot shut down a few shows on tour.
Well, it looks like Mother Nature won't be shutting down your golf game. Now, how you putt might do that, but that's not on her. We're looking for excellent weather conditions, mostly sunny, warm, and you know what? We'll put a little pleasant on top of that, too.
We're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. With the pulling power to prove it. Tow hitches of the world, prepare for glory. Get 5.9% APR for 84 months on Sierra heavy-duty Denali models. That's almost $7,000 in average finance savings.
Hi, I'm Joel Wharton, Sussex County farmer. Don't wait until after harvest to plant your cover crops. Consider broadcasting or interseeding cover crops into your standing cash crop. Early establishment provides more growth potential and more soil armor over winter. It also saves time because after harvest, the cover crop is already growing and protecting the soil, cycling nutrients, and preventing erosion. To learn more about the benefits and ways to establish cover crops early, contact the Sussex Conservation District because every acre counts.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability
And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Make it 0% APR financing, make it a 0 down payment, and make it no payments for 90 days on select Ford SUVs.
Feeling the summer sizzle? Is it turning your home into a sauna? At FH Fur, we know you can't wait when your AC is down for the count. That's why we're offering same-day service, guaranteed. If we don't make it to you the very same day, you will pay a diagnostic or dispatch fee, plain and simple. So whether your AC is blowing hot air, your thermostat is on the fritz, or your entire system needs replacing, an FH Fur expert technician will bring your comfort back today.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event continues at Preston Ford. Experience incredible deals on a massive selection of over 900 new Ford vehicles. You can save over $11,000 off MSRP on select 2023 Ford F-150s, or get over $9,000 off MSRP on a 2023 Bronco Badlands. Shop with us online at PrestonFord.com and we'll deliver it to your driveway today. Visit Preston online or in person during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at Preston Ford. Remember, cars cost less in Preston.
Taylor Swift returning to the stage today in London for the first time since an alleged terror plot to attack a show in Vienna was stopped. The foiled plot forced concert organizers to cancel her 3 shows in Vienna, and now she's set for her first 5 nights at Wembley Stadium in London. Brian Abel has the highlights of this new story.
Welcome to the Eras Tour. Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour, making a triumphant return in London at Wembley Stadium, just 1 week after the European leg of the tour was upended, when authorities said they foiled a terror plot that led to the cancellation of 3 Vienna shows, the arrest of multiple teen suspects, and renewed security concerns.
We've met some people who couldn't go to Vienna, and they've been able to get tickets for tonight, and they're just so happy.
The thwarted plot re-upping fears of another attack similar to 2017's bombing after an Ariana Grande concert at Manchester Arena that prompted calls for security changes. London authorities for Swift's 5-show stop saying crowds will not be allowed outside Wembley. Overnight camping also not allowed. There will be extra ticket checks, and entry times are now earlier.
I think it's inconsequential. The reality is, if I'm bent and I'm savvy and I'm smart, I have gone to the efforts of getting myself a ticket to this concert. I think the greater concern that is the processing.
Kaplan says the green light, however, is a good sign.
I can tell you that they would not be giving the green light if they thought that there was any real potential threat to the fans.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
A new wave of young stars were hoping to lift the Shorebirds over the Mudcats in Game 3 of the home series. DSN's Luke Mealy and Tim Nolan take us to Purdue Stadium.
Bases loaded, nobody out. I know I said the Shorebirds were better with wrist. They go down swinging back-to-back-to-back hitters here in the third, and this was real impressive from Josh Chamberlain.
But at that point, you see that, and you're thinking, man, this could be the same old thing we've seen. Shorebirds struggling to produce when they need it most, but then they got a bit of a break in the fourth.
Yeah, how about that? Ryan Stafford stealing third, ball caroms off the mitt of Garcia, takes home on the wild pitch. Shorebirds double their lead, it's 2-0. And more runners in scoring position. That is an RBI double off the bat of Angel Tejada. And the Shorebirds take a 3-0 lead.
1 inning later, not relaxing with that 3-run lead, recognizing that it's time to build and just making beautiful bunts like that.
And then a fastball that just misses inside. Brylan Tavera draws a bases-loaded walk. 4-0 Delmarva. Michael Hernandez makes the Mudcats pay 1 batter later.
The RBI double with the bases loaded. They did the right things all night, whether it was take the walk, whether it was drive a ball down the line. Everything that they could have asked to do tonight, they did it and led to an 8-0 win.
And don't miss Game 4 between the Mudcats and the Shorebirds at Purdue Stadium live on DSN tomorrow at 7 p.m. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Scientists might have solved the mystery of where an iconic stone used to build Stonehenge came from. It's been long thought that the altar stone, which lies at the center of the ancient monument in England, originated in current-day Wales. But according to new research, the altar stone was likely transported to England from Scotland nearly 5,000 years ago. To find out where the alterstone originated, researchers analyzed the age and chemistry, minerals, and grains from the fragments of the stone itself. That means the massive 6-ton boulder traveled more than 435 miles. We'll be right back.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
When choosing windows and doors for your home, at Pella, it's your choice. We manufacture maintenance-free vinyl, fiberglass, and wood-clad windows and patio doors, all with lifetime warranties. High performance, energy efficient, and loaded with options to help make your house your home. Industry first features and benefits make living easier and increase your home's value. Visit our Experience Center or call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation where we bring the showroom to you.
Rural communities are on the front lines of a changing climate. Farmers can implement climate-smart practices that improve soil health, nutrient management, and energy efficiency. These practices improve our profitability, resiliency, and help to open new markets.
We know voluntary conservation works and are committed to working with farmers and forest landowners to leverage resources to increase climate resiliency through conservation practices. To learn more about climate-smart practices, scan this QR code to find your local USDA service center.
Transform your bath today with Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Call now and ask about our Refresh for Less promotion and get a new bath or shower for only $69.95. Plus, get 20% off all upgrades.
Imagine stepping into a beautifully renovated bath, designed by our experts and installed by our certified professionals.
This offer is hotter than a sauna and won't last forever. So don't miss out on our Refresh for Less promotion for just $69.95 with 20% off all upgrades.
Before you sign, keep Baths by Spicer Brothers in mind, because you deserve the best.
Welcome to First State Chevrolet, your local hometown dealer in the heart of Sussex County on Route 113 in Georgetown.
This month, save $7,000 on this 2024 Chevrolet Silverado.
Save up to $3,000 on this 2024 Chevy Blazer. We have a great selection of pre-owned vehicles here at First State Chevy, and we're still looking for more. We will pay you top dollar for your car or truck.
Stop in or find us on the web at firststatechevy.com.
We are First State Chevy in Georgetown, where we put you, the customer, first. Together, let's drive.
Delaware Electric Cooperative is proud to power Central and Southern Delaware. We power local artists creating masterpieces inspired by nature, eateries with roots that run deep in our communities, and business owners helping other entrepreneurs succeed. We serve a new orchestra founded by co-op members and a new library built to better serve Harrington families. We're inspired by the stories of our friends and neighbors, and it's for these people and places that DEC is committed to keeping the lights on.
History buffs head to Selbyville this weekend. The Selbyville Museum is open on the third Saturday of the month from April 2024 until October 2024. And this Saturday is the third one in August, so it's going to be open from 10 to 2 p.m. The museum says it offers railroad and town artifacts that date back to the earliest town agricultural days to the late 20th century police memorabilia. And that admission, hey, it's free.
Well, now that fits in my budget, so might as well go ahead and check it out as well. Listen, our Lewis Irish Eyes Pub camera showing us that we're going to drop to 70 degrees with clear skies by 1 o'clock, and we're going to stay clear for the rest of the night in Lewis. We do have some gusty winds along the coast, and we're concerned about rip currents. So we have a rip current statement that's active all along the coast for us in Sussex. And then we have the small craft advisory watching out for 25-mile-per-hour winds. So please be mindful of that. It can be a little dangerous outside if you take things light. By the way, Paul Harvey, is that the Paul Harvey? Not sure, but you're our winner for today. Go ahead, Charlie.
And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Hey, that's coming up next. And we're going to see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Everybody have a great night.